Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I know I still have my paint mess here. I told you I wasn't going to do anything on the cover, and I have not, but it's all nice and dry now. But we're going to put a little more paint around the edges and over into this area today, just so when I cover it with some white paper that I have, I don't want to see this edge in the brown. I want it to be at least covered a little bit, but that's it so far, so I haven't done anything else to that. I have gotten lots of new subscribers and I'm super excited. So I'm going to do a giveaway, and it's a surprise giveaway. I like to do these. I've done these before. So what I'm going to give away is the envelope that we made out of junk mail together. So this is the original junk mail one. And then the next, so that'll be the first name I call. And then the next name that I call will get these two pieces that I made on, I think I made these on camera, or at least parts of them and stuff. There's the little pocket here, and then there's another little pocket here, and that's just made out of a piece of that manila paper, and then I covered it with Medieval Mirage papers. And they'll get this too. So it's kind of like you get two in this one, and the reason I'm doing two in this one is because they match. So that's how that's working out. So that is one prize, and this is another prize. And what I have to tell you guys is that I cannot ship overseas. I tried to ship some stuff to my friend Allie. I had collected, you know, just some trims and some other little things for her, and it was just an envelope about this big and maybe an inch thick, not even an inch thick, and they wanted $108 to ship it to the UK. So I can't ship overseas because I just can't afford it, and it's just crazy to ship, like, you know, some little thing like this, and it's $108 or close anyway. So if you are from overseas, because I know I've had like some people say they're from Scotland and Australia and the UK and all those places, what I'll do, if I draw your name out of the bag, then I will, you can choose one of my digis from my Etsy shop, and that will be your prize instead. That's the only thing that I can think of that's fair. I don't want to leave people overseas out. It's just that I can't afford that shipping. So that's how we're going to do it. So if I draw your name and you're from overseas, sorry, my cat's helping, you can choose one digi from my shop. So that's how we're going to do it. So this is the first name I call. This will be the second name that I call. And what I've done is put all comment names in a bag from my top two videos right now. Those are the two videos that have been watched and commented on the most. So that's the only way I could think of to, you know, and I'm sorry if you commented on another video and don't get your name. I just don't know how else to make it fair, and that's why I didn't do the random name generators, because I've got two videos worth of comments in here. So I'm just going to shake them up and I'll show you so you can see. They're all in there, all those little papers. I'm just going to shake it up. So the first one, first name is Tailor Made Journals. So if you are Tailor Made Journals, contact me on my Etsy shop with your address and things, and then I can get this shipped out to you. Again, if you are overseas, we'll talk about which digi you want, and I'll send that to you instead. So there goes that. And then this one, this draw, just reaching in here. This is going to Lorette Chandler. So Lorette, oh, it's hard to see on my camera, sorry. Contact me on my Etsy shop, and I will get those shipped out to you. And like I said, if you're overseas, you'll get a digi instead. Alright, and if that happens, then I'll draw a name for those other ones again until we figure it all out. Alright, so what I'm going to do today, because I'm going to just paint around the edges of this, and then it's going to dry, and while it's drying I'm going to do something else. So let me grab another paintbrush. Pasha, he is licking any acetate he can find. He goes looking for it in my craft box. But I have it all kind of tucked in the front so he can't really get to it, but he tries to find it. Pasha. I don't really want him licking it, you know, it's kind of gross. Alright, so I'm just gonna, brush is a little stiff from the other day, go along these edges, and so this isn't exciting, but I just wanted you guys to see kind of the whole process. Now I have a piece of his fur on my hand. And this is definitely kind of boring, but I just, when I put the white paper on there, I don't want to see, you know, that cardboard color necessarily. I mean, a little is fine, but I just want it mostly covered so it just doesn't look like it's sticking out like a sore thumb kind of thing. And I'm going to do something with paint on this stuff too, so. And this does not have to be perfect at all, so I'm actually going to move those over a little bit. And what I have today is just a guest check that I've coffee dyed, a little piece of fiber from the burlap. Go ahead and get in these a little too. It's all going to be covered, but just in case there's any bits that are seen. So I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. We had got up yesterday morning to snow, but it was 41 degrees, I think, yesterday was the high, so it's all gone. That's kind of the way it's been this year. It just snows, and then by the end of the day it's gone. Which is kind of nice. I haven't had to shovel any snow, which I'm always very pleased with. But kids kind of want snow because they like it. Alright, so I'm just going to let that dry somewhere. I'm getting a piece of plastic to put it on. Alright. So while that dries, put that in there, and we're going to take one of these. I think I want the grungiest one. And then I have this is what I cut those snowflakes out of that I put on the front. And so I'm going to just kind of use it like a stencil. So I just have a kind of a pouncing or stenciling brush. I'm just getting some on my paper here. You know what I should do before I do this is tape that down so that it doesn't wiggle. Need my washi. Where's my washi? Here's just some red. I kind of want to get one of them at least up on the guest check part. There's nowhere to really hook this. So go down here. Hopefully it'll just sort of stay there. I just don't want it wiggling all over. I'm loading up my brush here. And just like stenciling, you're just kind of pouncing, because you don't want it too thick and running underneath. This was a good piece because it had all the different stencils. I'm not going to do the one on the bottom because I'm going to cover that. I was originally going to use just one of the plain guest checks that hadn't been coffee dyed because I liked that kind of greeny blue color, but then I was thinking this white will show up a lot better on the coffee dyed piece. Okay, let's see how that came out. Alright, yeah, I like that. That looks cool. Okay, so I'm going to go dry that real quick, and then I will come back and we'll do some other stuff to it. So I'll be right back. Okay, hi everybody, I'm back. So I think this is pretty much dry, and I went around the edges with my paintbrush, and I'll show you kind of how I do that, because I forgot to do it while I was on camera and I didn't want to turn it on and back off again. So I just get white paint on there, go like this around the edges. Some spots it's thicker, and I just kind of, you know, feather it out a little bit so it looks a little bit icy and frosty and whatever, and I went all the way around the whole thing just doing that. Okay, so that's that, and it's pretty much dry, but we're going to work on this little, I got these tea bags on Amazon, and they're just like unused tea bags, and you can get these, and a lot of times I coffee dye them, but this one I just wanted to keep white for that, and we're going to use it as a pocket on here. So what I need to do is cut a piece of acetate that will fit down in the inside of that, because we're going to be using glue, and I don't want it to glue the bag shut because it's just really obviously porous because it's a tea bag. So I'm just going to cut a piece of this that'll fit down inside of there. And I just save all these packaging bags because they're fun to make like windows for things or pockets, or, you know, all sorts of things you can do with this acetate, and also this type of thing when you don't want things to stick together. It works great if you cut it the right size. I think that's a little bit big still. I really want it to get edge to edge, you know, because otherwise it'll glue together wherever there isn't acetate. Come on, it's wanting to fold over in there. The other issue is there's like this gusset here, so what I might do actually is get the bag in here and glue the bottom part of that gusset together. So I know this is super hard to see on camera, but I've just pushed that acetate all the way down into the bottom corners down here, and this piece just doesn't, it's a little bit big still, but I really want to get as close to that edge as I possibly can. So that it doesn't glue, you know, anything we don't want glued. Alright, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to move these out of the way, we're going to use these for something else in a minute. Hoping that's in there all the way. So I have one of the snowflakes, the big ones, and I want to just glue that onto the front of this bag. And I'm trying to think if I want to like Mod Podge it or just glue it. Let me get another piece of this, because I think I'm gonna, where is it? Sorry, I have my giant water cup sitting there. I'm just going to use Elmer's, and I'm going to kind of paint it on there. I need an icky brush. Let's see if I can get my Elmer's out. I use Elmer's for a lot of this type of Mod Podge stuff. I really don't like Mod Podge that much because of the smell. And this works just as well in my opinion. I just want to get all those little bits because obviously they're going to be tricky to glue down. I'm trying to go fast so I don't glue it to my deli paper entirely. Oops, you see, this is such a cruddy brush, it's just falling apart. Oh, please. This one is so delicate, but I love the way it looks once it's on something. It's just getting it on something. Hopefully it'll end up looking right here. And we're going to have to go over the top too because I can tell it's not really going to stick to that bag very well. So I'm glad I decided to kind of decoupage it because it's not going to work otherwise. Wow, I think this can just go in the trash after I'm done. Oh, Pasha, he's licking plastic again. It's just a bag I have on the floor that was drying the journal. I moved the journal, so it's it's impossible. It looks kind of wonky, huh? It's kind of wacky, I just realized. I don't want green in there. Sorry. This was probably not the right snowflake to use because it's so crazy fragile. Okay, I think I got it pretty good. I mean, you can at least tell what it is. Aiden, will you come grab Pasha? He's being very helpful. Okay, so that's going to have to dry down in there. I'm just going to set it aside and pray that it works. Alright, so the other thing we're going to do is, this is going to be a little like journaling booklet to go down inside of that bag. And I've made these before, and I got this idea from Diane H. Creates, is her YouTube channel, and I'll link her. It's been a while since she did the video on this, so all it is a book page that you fold in half and then fold again, and so it makes, like, you know, a little book. And I'm actually going to do the fold at the top so it'll open like that. And I know, like, this one's upside down, but that's not going to make any difference because we're going to cover all the writing anyways. So I'm just going to grab some paper, and I think I wanted to use, this is my Digi Winter Wonder, and you can get this on my Etsy channel. I'm going to use her on the, or on my Etsy shop, not my Etsy channel. Woo! Yeah, so just going to tear that out. And these are super fun because you just collage on each little page, and then when you unfold it, you can, you know, write on it. For journaling, I'm just going to take this little edge off. Hopefully. And I kind of want those stamps, but I don't need all of this, so. The cool thing about this is I already collaged it, this paper, so you know, you don't have to do a whole lot of anything else. You can just kind of glue it down and it works pretty good because it's already all got different collage pieces. Still a little bit tall. So I've had lots of questions. I love these rulers. They're great. I got them off of Amazon. They're We Are Memory Keepers. And you get 3 of these, and then like a water pen that you can use to help them tear, especially when you're using those really jaggedy edges. I just don't use those a whole bunch. I mostly like this one particular one, but they do work. You just have to hold your paper down tight right here when you're using them, because otherwise it just slides out and then you get a weird tear, which is very easy to do. But I'm going to move that paint. Close my glue. I think I left my gluing book downstairs, so just grab another one. I'm working on a new Digi for Valentine's Day. So that should be coming out within the next few days or next weekend, just depending on when my son can do the computer portion. But it will be soon. Okay. These are just pages that I've torn out, and that's another thing I got a question on, is what I do with the pages after I glue on them. And I use them for other things like pockets and tags and things like that in my journals. So that's what that's for. That's why I do that. You can use them, you know, to strengthen a tag. Like if you print a tag on regular paper, you can, you know, help strengthen the tag. Or, like I said, pockets, all kinds of things you can use them for. And like this is book page. It doesn't have glue on it, but that's why I do that. And I got that idea from Gail Augustinelli and Rachel at Roxy Creations do that. It just works great, because if you have the guts from, like if you're using covers of books or whatever, it's a way to use your book pages, you know, and put them back into your journals and things like that, so that they're not just getting thrown in the trash. Alright, so I've got some of Medieval Mirage's papers, and this one's Medieval Missives Add-on Part 4. You can see it up here. And that's where these botanicals are that I've been using. I've had some people say they've looked on Medieval Mirage and they're not finding these. They're in that Medieval Missives add-on kit, and there's like 5 pages or something like that, 4 or 5 pages. So her kits kind of are all mixed up, you know what I mean? Like she puts all different things in each kit. So, you know, you might think it's not there, but it is. And I've been trying to put it in my description box too. And a lot of times, if I talk about something in a video, check my description box. And if I do forget to put it, please, you know, tell me. And I will tell you where the paper's from or whatever the thing is that you're looking for. But I usually try to put which kit it is in my description box. You just have to click that little arrow below the video and that comes up. So we're just going to use a portion of this. And I'm going to kind of tear it down the center here because I want to add some other paper. And depending on how you collage it, you know, you can have more or less writing space. And obviously this page isn't going to be a lot of writing space, but you know, another page will be. So but sometimes it's fun to just like write down a quote you like, or you know, you don't, a lot didn't happen that day or whatever, so you just want to put a little something down. That's why I like little things like this. I think we can use a piece of guest check, would be kind of cool on the other side over here, because I'm just going to do like a strip of that. And I'll use that other piece for something else. I mean, I'm always... I'm just going to wing it here. It'll go under that other one a little, and that's fine. And I use Vintage Photo Distress ink. That was another question I had, and I've answered them, but I just want to make sure, because I know sometimes I don't go back and check answers always. I forget, you know, so that's what those are. Or that's what I use. So these are just kind of fun little things to have tucked away. And another thing, my friend Denise at one of our crafts, she has glued, you know, like the back of it down so that you can flip it open, and hers flipped open the other direction. So think about that when you're collaging, which direction you want it to open up. And I'm going to fold this over, and it can be a pocket or a journaling card or a tag. Alright, this next part over here, I think I'm just going to use this old notepad that I have. I'm going to take off of each side, and it's old, so it tears super easy. So these are loads of fun to make. So what I was saying with this is, if you glue it, so if you turn it this direction and this is your front cover and it opens like this, and then like this, if you glue the back down to a page, then you have, you know, like a little, actually, how would you do that? You wouldn't have a front, I guess. Oh yeah, you would. So you just glued just this back portion down. It would open like this, and then like that. That's how Denise did it. Sorry, it took me a minute there to think. But I'm just doing it a different direction, so but you can do it whichever way you want it to open, kind of thing. It doesn't matter. And like I said, the words on it don't make a difference upside down or whatever, because you're covering them. I hope that's clear. Clear as mud, right? I was watching the news this morning about the fires in Australia. I feel so bad for everybody in Australia. I just wish they could get those darn fires out. I mean, obviously you guys do too, but it's horrible. And all the animals that have died, and just people's houses, and ay, ay, ay. I mean, I know fires happen everywhere. It's just horrible. But some places like California and Australia, you know, those places it really hits hard, it seems like. Okay, so I have this Medieval Missives add-on part 4 again from Medieval Mirage. And I'm going to use one of these because I like that icy blue color of that. And she has these cut out really cool, so they make really cool journaling cards. But since I'm not going to use the whole thing, I'm not that worried about the edges. They're really cool, but it just isn't going to fit. But just think of different ways if you just need a little piece of paper, you know. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where my fold is there. You know, think about what journaling pieces you have, papers that you already have, and it may not be a huge piece of paper, but you might not need a huge piece. So just kind of, you know, think outside the box, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. It's kind of hard to see the folds on this. If I ink it first, that helps, but I didn't do that, so. Which, why don't I just do that? Then I'll be able to see for the rest easier. And you can do this crazy thing called measuring, which, why would you want to do that? Yeah, when I saw these Diane H. crates, she was kind of making them for Christmas tags, but it was even way before Christmas. And I just thought, oh, those are so cool to like stick in pockets or whatever. I mean, they'd be really cool Christmas tags too, but. And then I never ended up making any. I just ran out of time this year. I feel like Christmas just came and went like that fast. It was just, I didn't get half the stuff done that I wanted to get done. And I feel like I'm just running behind now. But I am just enjoying the process of this particular journal. I really am liking it, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to take a little edge off. I would have liked to have had it done already, but thought I had it measured better there, but I didn't. So see, you can do just whole pieces, like glue down 4 whole pieces. You can collage, you can, you know, whatever you feel like doing. Just do it, because it's just fun to play with, I think. I want some of this doily. This is, again, my Winter Wonder. First. Sorry, I got the itchy nose again this morning. I swear I'm allergic to everything in the air. Probably allergic to cats. I've had cats my whole life, but I mean, like, I don't get itchy eyes or any of that kind of thing. I just get that tickly nose thing. That would be my luck, right? I love my cats. It's a family thing. My grandfather had an old barn on his property, and it was full of cats. And it was a big fat mess, but he would feed them, and we would, when I was little, we would go catch the kittens, you know, so that we could give them away so they'd have good homes instead of just being wild, obviously, but there's always some that you can't catch or whatever. So there were always kittens around his place, and I think that's where I get my cat love from. This is the paper that my niece dyed for me, cabbage dyed, red, purple cabbage, whatever color, and comes out blue, which is crazy, but it does. I need to do better than that. Okay. But I love the color for this journal, and I definitely love that icy kind of edge. It's cool. Thank you, Bailey. I miss her. I've hardly seen her. She moved here. And I know, it's like the whole moving into a house thing. Crazy. Well, and she's working obviously too, so I don't know, do I like that? I think I like the darker side better. Need to cut my crazy fingernails. I'm just gluing, if you can't see, sorry. Glue strings. This one is a bit gooey, but this is my favorite. Love it. I think I'll just put a little doily on there for fun. And I'm going to kind of hang it off a little. I just dab doilies, you know, donk donk, instead of rubbing, because obviously they tear super easy. Like, it's going to tear off my finger right now. And I'm just going to cut off the extra once it gets dry. Alright, and what else do we want to use on there? Maybe another piece of Medieval Mirage. This darker blue one's kind of cool too. That's the add-on part 4. And really, mostly for this journal, I am using Medieval Mirage, Medieval Missives, it's the add-on 3, 4, and 6. And then I've also done a little bit of the Medieval Odyssey, and I believe that was part 4 for that one. And I'll check and put it in my description box, but those are the only ones I'm using, which I know is a lot because she's got a ton in her kits, but, and you know, you don't have to use all of them. You could just use like Medieval Missives. That's the one I'm using the most, so. And just maybe do like the part 4. I'm just, you know, giving ideas basically. You do you. And if you don't have, like, you know, this piece right here is an old, what do you call it, notebook page, a little tiny notebook that I found at an antique shop. You can just buy one of those spiral bound notebooks, and they come in kind of a cream color. If I had it up here, I have it downstairs, but I would show you what I'm talking about. It's like what I wrote all the names on. And those are pretty readily available. They're just kind of in a creamy color. Those work great too, because you can just ink them and they look old, and they have the little spiral dillies, you know, so they work great for this kind of thing. If you're looking for something old, you know. Alright, what else do I want to use? This has got names and graph paper. That's from mine again. I'll do. And I'm not going to really worry about the tear because I'm going to add something else to it too. this blue up there. This one's actually going to go over. Just get a little more color. We got our Christmas tree all taken down. We usually do that like right after, like the day after New Year's, but that's good for backing. So if you get these ones out of book pages that are plain on the back, I often use them to back tags and things because they're, you know, it's a nice paper and it's clear, so you can just write on it. Clear of writing, I mean, not see-through. Alright, so see, it just makes a little booklet, and you open it, and you can write there, you can write there, you can write on the back. So those are just kind of a fun little, you know, thing you can tuck in any pocket. And like I said, that's not my idea, that's Dawn H Creates. So, and now we're going to try to take this off of here and hope it works. Still got just a tiny bit of green. From my paintbrush on there. Alright, because I think that's dry all the way. Let's see. I don't want it sticking to itself. Yeah, that feels pretty good. So, what we're going to do, oh, you know what, I still need that in there. Well, if I go along the edge, I'll just go along the edge. I won't put any in between. I like it because you can like see the numbers, you can see the lines, and a lot of my snowflakes got covered up, but it's all right. It's all right. What we might do is add another snowflake up there. Alright, so what I was going to use is art glitter glue, and I'm just, oh, that's not art glitter glue, that's a glue stick. It's right there in front of my nose. I really don't have that bad of a mess either. I mean, compared to what I normally have when I get doing projects. And this is going to soak through, and I know, but I'm not that worried because it's just the edge that's already like hooked together and everything, so it's not that big of a deal. Come up just a little. I guess I should have checked where it was going to glue down, huh? When I put my snowflakes on. And I think what I'm going to have to do is just kind of put this in here to hold it open a little. In fact, I might have to put two of them in there. So leave the acetate in. Don't do it the way I did. Just did it, actually. We don't want our pocket to close, right? So, but that's a good little trick too, is to stick something in the inside of it like that. That works pretty well. And then this is down, because there's like a little gusset in the bottom of these tea bags, which makes sense. I'm going to grab some little clips. Okay, we're going to do, those are staying down pretty good. There's the little strings here, and so I thought it'd be kind of fun to hang off these little snowflakes. So I just did 2 of them, and I'm just going to put the strings together. I'm not going to worry about trying to do snowflakes on each little string. And if you had smaller snowflakes, you definitely probably could do that. But I just have this size, and so I'm just going to glue to it, kind of like you do on the strings in the middle of the journal, or strings that hang out that you hang charms on. You can hang charms on them too. It's just, I think charms might be a little bit thick. For this. So I'm going to try to get like 2 of the little arms of the snowflake. I don't know what else you'd call them. And where it's hanging out, I'm just going to snip it off. Try to line it up as best you can. As long as you catch the strings, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I'm actually going to use these because I know they're sharp enough to snip those little tiny pieces. Alright, so that will dangle. And that should be dry now. Oh, yeah. Is that stuck down or no? No, it is not. It doesn't want to. Sorry, sometimes these things take a minute, you know. Is this all? Yeah, I think that's pretty good. That is bugging me, that little piece of green that fell off the paintbrush. There we go. I think that's all right now. And then our little book will just go inside of here. And obviously, you know, if you're making this at home, just let this stuff dry. I'm going to have to glue down the edge of this as well. It's the part of the bag that's closest to oh, jeez, Amy. You know, the opening here at the back. So I need to glue that down so it's not catching, because I was trying to catch that piece when I was putting it in. So I need to leave that there for a second. So let's get our journal pages out. That might be a good plan. Sorry for my arm there. Figure out where do we want it. Probably the back somewhere, because I haven't put a whole lot of anything back here. This would be a good spot right here on this book page, so I'm just going to take this piece out. Set those over there. And I'm going to glue it down kind of like a belly band. So I'm just going to glue the top and the bottom, and that way you can slide things in and out of there if you choose to do that. Let that dry a little bit more. And I know I'm using quite a bit, but I just want to make sure it stays. And then there's this perforation So I don't want that to come off, obviously, so I'm going to go ahead and glue it a little bit above that. I hope you can see. Because it would be bad if it just came off. Go on here now, hopefully. It's kind of tight now that it's all glued down. But so you can kind of see through there. It's just kind of fun. Fun little pocket. So next time I come back, we'll work some more on the cover. There isn't much exciting left because I'm just going to cover that inside part. But I'll go ahead and show you how I do that. Not that it'll be very hard, you're just gluing down the paper, but so anyway, there's a little pocket back here that we can put stuff in, and then our little hanging snowflake. So I hope you guys liked that. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much to those people who have subscribed and all your support. You guys have had awesome comments, and I'm just so grateful. I can't even tell you, because I couldn't do this if it wasn't for you guys supporting me. And again, I'll tell you names on the surprise giveaway. So it was Lorette Chandler, so contact me on my Etsy shop, and Taylor Made Journals got this one. So again, Etsy shop, and then if you are overseas or wherever, I'll give you a digi instead. All right, we'll chat later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.